Good morning, it's Naomi White in Brisbane, Australia, and it's Sunday morning, the 29th of March 2020, and it's Saturday afternoon and Saturday evening, the 28th of March 2020 in Italy and America, where my two friends are, Patty and Patty. I'll throw to them in a minute, but keen to understand how everybody's feeling this morning because there's a lot going on in the world with coronavirus. And as an Australian, we have about 3,500 cases now, and while that seems a lot in the Australian context, comparatively to other areas of the world, we're right at the end. You know, we're only just beginning, and it's really insightful to look at what's going on in areas that are more progressed than us. So certainly I've got Patty in Italy, and you know, they're right with the highest numbers in the world right now, and we've also got America, which is trending in a scary direction at the moment. And there's so much fear circulating around the world, but equally there's a lot of hope emerging. I'm really keen to understand how everybody's feeling right about now. So perhaps if I could throw to Patty in Italy and tell me, how are you feeling today? You look like you're not as bright as you have been on other days. What's going on?
Yeah, well, my emotions shifted during the last days because things are happening, and I feel like I'm a little bit angry. Let's say I'm mad, and I think that this is a good feeling at this moment. And probably if a lot of people start getting mad instead of apathic, we can do something. We can react. Yes, the feeling of I want to do something. I want to react. I don't want to be here doing nothing all day. And this is how I'm feeling now. Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Patty, in California? How are you feeling?
You know, it's frustrating. Closing schools for 6 or 8 weeks. Just everyone's lives are upended and disrupted. I have a great friend, many friends who've lost their jobs, women who are head of households who are in the entertainment or the travel industry, and their jobs are just decimated. And so I think there's a lot of frustration. I think it's like it's darkest. I do have hope. It's darkest before dawn. So I think we're in this really dark period right now where our movement is stifled, our lives are stifled. I do hope that what we're doing is the right thing from a public health perspective. So I guess I am frustrated, but I remain hopeful that within weeks, or a month, that we're really going to see the light at the end of this tunnel.
I hope so. It's hard to tell, isn't it? We're given health advice that this is the way to flatten the curve. But if we look at the Italian example, Patty's been in home isolation now for 21 days, and that's going to take its toll sooner or later. Right now in Australia, I still have the ability to walk around the block, go for a bit of a stroll. I still have the ability to go into my car. The shops, the restaurants, cafes are all shut down, takeaway only, but we can still move. If we were further locked down into our homes, things might be very different. But at the moment, from my own point of view, I work for myself. I'm an independent consultant, and certainly my regular stream of work has all been put on hold indefinitely. I have some that's transitioned online, but a lot of it's been rescheduled. So from an income point of view, it's like, as long as this doesn't go on too long, I'll be all right. But if it starts dragging on for serious months, then it's going to get scary. And I think but I feel very fortunate because there's some people that have $10 in the bank. And if that's the case, what do you do if you're stuck at home? You can't generate income. And I think we're going to see some businesses fall. We're going to see some new businesses emerge. We're going to see some creativity. And it'll be interesting to see where it goes. But Patty, in Italy, your experience is particularly relevant to me. Are you seeing people still holding hope? I know you're starting to feel angry. Are you seeing a lot of hope emerging out of the Italian community, or are people mobilizing, feeling?
I'm seeing a lot of anger more than hope.
Okay. And where does that
And
anger go?
will to change things. They want to change things. They really want things not to go back as they were before, because this emergency has shown us that we are not well ruled, well lead,
Well,
or led.
yeah.
Well, yes, thanks. So I keep on listening to people. And just today, I spoke to my friend in Milan, and he was telling me, I don't have any more masks, and I need to go to my sister. And his sister works in an hospital, so she has masks. And he's afraid he cannot go there because it's far away. But without mask, they won't let him in the supermarket.
Oh, wow. So you can't get masks. You can't get a mask from the store, but you can't go to the supermarket without the mask.
That's what he told me. I can't get into the supermarket without a mask, but I don't have a mask, and I cannot reach my sister to get one because she's too far away. So explain me. I mean, how should people feel?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And it's much better to feel angry than to feel powerless and to just go down and be depressed and do nothing. I want people to react. I want people to tell what they think, what they feel. Express the feeling is the best thing that we can do in this moment. Yeah.
Patty Leach, do you anticipate that America will start to see some of the things that they're experiencing in Italy as you go further along the path?
You know, I have heard that some areas are stricter than others, even here in California, just, you know, in terms of giving citations to people that are, I don't know, out in groups and things like that. So, you know, but our president also said I think, you know, to his credit, he's trying to balance this absolute public health crisis with the fact that there's a nation that wants to go on. So we'll see what happens.
What do you think the right answer is? Because what Trump's doing is really interesting. He's saying he's going to send the US back to work just after Easter. Now, that's only a couple of weeks away. Do you think that's realistic?
I don't know. I mean, it's realistic for us all to go back to work, but whether it's going to stem the tide of the health crisis or start it back up again after, you know, we did all of this, I don't know. I don't think anyone can say. That's the, you know, we're just sort of living with that uncertainty. So.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
I've been wondering during these days, news about some countries that we never hear about. Like, for instance, in Europe, we never hear about Portugal, and we know nothing about Latin America. Did you know anything about these countries?
Well, I know the Cubans were flown in to assist with the medical crisis in Italy, weren't they? Cuban doctors?
Yeah. Cubans were coming.
About what's going on in Cuba.
I don't know what's going on in the whole South America. No news about it here. Do you?
I mean, I get the New York Times, so they have regional maps and global maps and global maps. So as of the last time I looked, which was probably last week, it wasn't as much. You know, there were definitely pockets in Europe that were growing. India, I think, has closed down. I don't think South America has been impacted as much. I think there was some discussion about it being, if you're closer to the equator and it's warmer, perhaps that's something the virus can't live as long. So
I'm not sure about it, because I talked to, I actually have a gardener from Senegal, and he left the beginning of February to go to his family. So now he's in Senegal, and he messaged me a week ago, and I asked him, how's it going there? How's it going in Senegal? And he answered that they have cases in Dakar, in Africa.
We do have cases in Africa. That's exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's cases everywhere. There's cases everywhere. I don't know that I think there's not as many places that don't have cases. It's just the question of how the government is handling it and tracing the folks that have been exposed and containing.
I got the
And if
impression
you're
it was
talking
those
about it,
nations that do more travel, though. So the wealthier nations tend to have I think, higher cases than those that don't. But I mean, it's hit the Indian nation, and I was reading a report on it yesterday, and it's going to be very tough on the Indian people, particularly those that don't have the means to support themselves, in the absence of work. So it's going to hit India really hard. It's such a
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way, there's another scientist who has made a very, very nice and precise parallel between the area of the worst contagion and the pollution. So actually, the Golden Triangle, that's the part of Italy that's been most contaminated. That's how we call it, the Golden Triangle, because they're the richest.
Mm-hmm.
It's the most polluted area in Europe.
Oh, around Lombardy?
Yeah.
Lombardy. The most polluted in Europe?
Yeah. Lombardia, wow. Piemonte, Veneto, they are the richest, the most industrial, and most polluted in Europe.
Right.
That's why they're the most badly hit by the
and
virus.
I imagine heavily populated areas. I mean, that's kind of what they're saying about New York, is it's just such a heavily populated area. So, people all live in apartment buildings, share ventilation systems.
So there probably is a very, very tight correlation between these two factors. And also I read about radiation, the 5G, that they're implanting now in all the world. As a matter of fact, China has been the first who has implanted fully the 5G. And in particular, I've heard in the area of Wuhan and Milan, Lombardy is the region where they've put 5G everywhere. And I also got to know that they had to take off an antenna close to a school that they had put close to a school because kids were getting sick, getting cancer.
And it apparently, I've heard that it lowers the immune system, the 5G.
Yeah, totally.
So, I must say, when I read that, I went and looked at where the 5G towers were in Brisbane, where I live, because I was like, wow, where are these things? Because I know when it was first touted as being introduced, there were a lot of people saying, well, you can't do this because the health implications of it haven't been fully worked out. We're putting it in, we're distributing it too soon without fully understanding the health implications of it. And I think that's right. So maybe there's a link here.
Yeah, maybe there's a link between, because this is pollution as well. It's radiation, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And probably there is a link because the area that are most badly hit are those where the 5G and the smog pollution is awful.
Well, I did see some NASA pictures taken from space, and one of them was of the hardest hit region in Italy. They were photos of the before and after with the pollution. And the pollution was very bad, and of course now it's virtually non-existent. So, at least there's one good thing to come out of this. Well, we might leave it there. Thank you so much for your time, and have an amazing day.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.